of François Hollande shaking the cash out of a business owner there. Now, according to the editorial in Libération, Hollande is basically putting his money where his mouth is. 2 weeks ahead of the legislative elections, he's shaking things up. He's going on the offensive. He's hitting hard where it hurts. But Libération points out that this only concerns a handful of managers. And according to the paper, if French people want to collectively face the tough times ahead, then everyone has to make sacrifices. Now, inside Libération, you can see that for many bosses, this could represent quite a significant wage cut. For instance, for Luc Ourcel, who's the CEO of Areva, he could get minus 49% of his wage. Meanwhile, Henri Proglio, the CEO of EDF, that would be minus 68% for him.
Wow.
So quite a big chunk out of his current wage, which is 1.55 million euros. Now, Proglio was a close ally of former President Nicolas Sarkozy. He made it into the public eye in 2009 when that figure became public. He became somewhat of an unpopular figure at the time, perhaps somewhat unsurprisingly. And according to Libération, this is kind of a strategic move on the part of François Hollande to win points ahead of the election.
Okay, next up, right-leaning Le Figaro, which I imagine has a different take on it all.
Different take on his speech. They're focusing more on Hollande's tax hike, which he has planned for this summer. Also, Le Figaro takes a jab at something that Hollande and his socialist ministers have been doing since they were elected, which is bragging that they're putting forward a new and improved social dialogue. And in their editorial, Le Figaro wonders just what this is. Now, yesterday, the Prime Minister, Jean-Marc Ayrault, met with unions, whether they were unions that represent workers or unions that represent business owners, and this meeting was applauded by unions across the board. But Le Figaro says there's nothing revolutionary about the fact that the Prime Minister was meeting with unions. This happens every time a new president is elected, and Le Figaro accuses the socialist government of pretty much anti-Sarkozy bashing, pretty much what they did in the presidential election to try to win over the legislative election, which is in just a couple of a week's time. According to Le Figaro, this new government doesn't have very much wiggle room, essentially, and they're still going to face the crisis and a tight budget.
Okie dokie, let's move on now, and something else that François Hollande might want to have a look at.
Well, yes, exactly. This is in Libération. It's a report that came out by UNICEF, which points out that the child poverty in France is quite high, according to Libération. Now, Libération says that childhood poverty is pretty much the forgotten issue in the presidential campaign. According to this report carried out by UNICEF, France comes out looking bad, whether it concerns absolute or relative poverty.
Okie dokie, finally, there's a bit of tennis going on here in Paris at the moment, and there was a big shock at Roland Garros.
Yes, and it's on the cover of L'Équipe, the sports magazine. Le Frisson Razzano, so the Razzano chill. She beat Serena Williams in a very surprising match, first round. First time Serena Williams has been ousted in the first round of a match. L'Équipe tells us more exactly who is this Virginie Razzano. She's kind of been unknown up until now. She's a 29-year-old, and according to L'Équipe, we should watch out for her in the tournament.
Congratulations to her, and congratulations to you, Flo, for that review of the press. Just going to remind you of the world news headlines now, and pressure on Damascus as Western nations expel